I unintentionally started a family with my neighbor and her son plus 1.5-year update. The author of the post is listed in the description. 3 years ago, a woman named Cassie, 32F, and her son Kenny, 13M, moved into the apartment next door. They had a few boxes, so I figured I'd, 31M, offer to help and get off to a good start. I noticed Kenny had a PS4, so I told him that I game as well, and he was free to come over and play my systems anytime he wanted if his mother allowed it. I have a PS5, Switch, and PC as an FYI. Since I'm a mechanic, I told Cassie if she had car trouble, she could come to me anytime since I help out a lot of other people on the floor with their cars as well. She accepted. I didn't really interact with either Kenny or Cassie besides a few heys for a few weeks initially, but a little more than a month after moving in, Cassie knocked on my door and asked if I could check her car because the engine wasn't turning over. Turns out, the spark plugs needed to be changed, which was easy enough to do. Cassie was very thankful for my help and offered to pay, but I told her it was no problem. She invited me to dinner with her and Kenny, and I was hesitant to accept, but she insisted on it. The next day we had dinner, and it was a good time. I learned a lot about her and talked to Kenny more. He's a good kid, really into games, science, and his guitar. We even all went over to my place for some Mario Kart. From then on, I got really close to Kenny. I viewed him like a little brother. He came over to play my games almost every day, and I even started teaching him about cars. I've even brought him to my shop to introduce him to tools. He's a quick study, and he even told Cassie he wants to be a mechanic like me. I told him to aim higher and become an engineer. He's now even looking into engineering programs. I think Cassie really appreciated our relationship. She became a lot more friendly with me. I got COVID during lockdown, and out of the kindness of her heart, she brought me groceries, cleaned my apartment, and even took care of me. I was totally grateful. She even cooks dinner for me every night, and we all have dinner together. She even makes dinner for me when I work late and leaves it in my apartment. The other day, Kenny brought one of his friends over to his apartment. I met the friend, and he said, "This is OP, he's like my dad." Not gonna lie, that took me by surprise. I always viewed Kenny as my little brother, but here he is saying that I'm like a dad to him. I asked Cassie about this, and she seemed surprised I even asked. She said that she would never force that role on me, but that he did view me as his father. He even hoped that me and Cassie would get together so that we can be a real family. Cassie then said she wouldn't mind that either. I asked her if she was asking me out. She just smiled and said yes. I was surprised, but said okay. We have a dinner date this weekend, and I'm nervous as all hell. I don't want to ruin things with Cassie and or Kenny. I really do love both of them. But I'm not sure how I feel about being the father figure for Kenny. It's a lot of responsibility, and I'm not entirely sure I'm the guy for that. And Cassie? She's a really amazing woman. I just hope I can measure up to her expectations. In just asking Reddit, are my worries unfounded? Should I put some boundaries between me and Kenny? How do I not screw up with Cassie? Comments, commenter. It sounds like you were already fulfilling the job requirements before you were hired. I wouldn't worry about this, OP. This sounds like the start of something beautiful. Commenter. Quite literally this. You've already been doing all the right things. No reason to worry now. Just keep doing what you've been doing. Commenter. He's that guy who's very good at doing something until he realizes that he's doing the thing he's good at. Suddenly he panics and wonders if he's good enough to do the thing he's already been unknowingly doing. Update. 10 days later. Hey all, thanks for all the nice comments on the first post. It's weird being complimented so much, but I guess I like it, LOL. So here are some things to clarify before the update. People were asking me if I'm actually attracted to Cassie, and the answer is yes. She's one of the strongest, nicest, most considerate people I know. She constantly puts people before herself, and I always wished that someone would put her first for once. And did I mention that Cassie is super pretty? I guess I just never thought Cassie would find me attractive or be interested in me that way. Now the update. I was nervous as hell all week leading up to the date on Saturday. During our usual family dinners, Cassie smiled at me a lot more. I don't think Kenny noticed since he was too busy playing on his phone. Cassie not so subtly suggested to Kenny, 13M, that he go spend a weekend with his grandparents. He didn't really want to, but she pretty much pushed him out the door, LOL. On Saturday evening, I knocked on Cassie's door and she opened it up wearing an absolutely beautiful dress. I broke the tension and asked if that dress was for me. She laughed and we went on our way. The evening was a little awkward at first, but when we were walking to the restaurant, she grabbed my hand and smiled at me, and it sort of got rid of the awkwardness. From there, the evening went amazingly. We talked, laughed, and had a great dinner. I asked her what made her change her mind about me, and she said it was the previous Christmas. For reference, Cassie is a hard-working single mom, and Kenny has all of his needs met and more. But she can't afford to get him the best, and it really hurts her that she can't. She really wanted to get him a PS5 since he was begging for one, but couldn't justify the cost. Since I have disposable income, I hunted for months, checking stock drops until I finally got one. I then surprised Kenny with it on Christmas and told him it was from his mom. Cassie was shocked and even started crying. Kenny was so excited he didn't even notice her crying. All she could tell me was thank you repeatedly. Apparently, that made her realize that she wanted me in both of their lives forever. She tried to deny her feelings, but it didn't work. The conversation the other day was the opening she needed to finally confess how she felt. After dinner, we went back to her place for a nightcap. We talked a lot about relationship expectations and how we wanted to proceed. We agreed to be exclusive, to take it slow and not to tell Kenny about anything until we're sure that this relationship is real and strong. We don't want to give him unrealistic expectations. She also said that her calling me his dad was too much too soon, and she apologized for it. She said it was wishful thinking on her part and probably would have weirded out most people. She said to accept any role with Kenny that I wanted, but she hoped that I would see Kenny as a son eventually. Sorry to disappoint everyone, but we didn't do the deed. We decided that it was much too soon. We did, however, have a buzzed makeout session, LOL. The following day, we went for brunch and decided to go apple picking. It felt damn good to be walking hand in hand with someone you care about and taking lots of pictures doing silly things. At our family dinner yesterday, Cassie sat close to me and was rubbing her foot on my leg. I don't think I've ever been more turned on in my life, LOL. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I think I'm falling for Cassie and falling hard. Well, anyway, I think that's it. We're together now, and hopefully this lasts. I don't think I want anyone else. Cassie is everything one could want in a partner, and I hope that I can be worthy of her. She's a really special person. Comments. Commenter. I'm about 3 days late to this, but I had to laugh when one person wrote that he wasn't sure if he was ready, capable of being a father figure. Like, dude, you already are. You've been doing it this whole time and you didn't even notice. You're ready, Grasshopper. As for Cassie, I get it. I was a single mom of 3 when I married my husband, and I had been celibate since my youngest was born. She was 5 when we married. But my husband and I moved seamlessly into a very healthy and robust sexual relationship. I was still a very sexual person. I was just focused on my kids. They needed me to be 100% present for them. That didn't change me, it just put it on the back burner until I married. No, we didn't have sex before we got married for personal reasons we were both in agreement on. OP, you're killing it. Don't overthink things. You're exactly who this child needs you to be, and even if things don't go long-term with Cassie, you're adding so much value to his life. Things will go long-term, I refuse to believe otherwise. I also laughed when you said what your mom told you. My husband and I were talking about where our relationship was going about 4 mo's before we married, and he used the word boundaries, which made me think he was trying to put the brakes on. We've been married 8 years now, and I've learned that this is an issue for him. He uses the wrong words frequently. He was trying to say that he wanted to set up expectations for going forward, which is very different than saying boundaries. Thankfully, I'm mouthy AF and called him out on it right away, and he had no idea what I was talking about. Totally clueless, just like you. We've been married 8 years next month. We had 2 kids together, and when the youngest was 5 MOs, we had a surprise adoption that popped into our laps. Now we're the parents to 6 and even more in love than when we started. Life is beautiful. It takes a strong man to take on someone's kids, but you sound like you're exactly that. My husband is so loved and appreciated by all of us, and they all call him Dad. He wouldn't change his life for anything in the world. I hope you get that from this relationship, BC. You deserve it. Oop. I loved reading every bit of this. Thank you for the compliments and congratulations on your wonderful life. As for Cassie, yeah, I've been extremely surprised by how aggressive she's been. I'm trying to keep this PG-13, but we haven't had sex yet. But let's just say that I can tell she wants it LOL. As for clueless, yeah, I guess I am, haha. Looking back, I can't believe how clueless I really was. Commenter. Just do her already. She's probably very frustrated. Respectfully, another frustrated woman with a clueless guy. Oop. This was the funniest comment I've read on here so far. Believe me, I'm no choir boy and would love to take Cassie to Pound Town. But I want to respect her and not just seem like I'm in it for the sex. Taking it slow means not running around like horny teenagers, unfortunately. But I dare say things have been progressing nicely. We cross little milestones almost every day, and we're working towards the big ones. Also, it's way too early for the L word, but I don't know how to describe it as anything other than that. Since people seem to like our story, I guess I'll give you a small little update. We spent Thanksgiving with her parents. Her mother always liked me and was our biggest shipper. Right away, she sussed it out, I guess just by the way we were looking at each other, or our energy or something. Women are really good at that kind of stuff, LOL. Her mom pulled us aside and asked if we were together. We denied it at first, but she just gave us that come on face. We gave in and admitted it. She hugged me and practically squeezed the life out of me, LOL. Her mom couldn't even hide her smile the rest of the night. Meanwhile, while me and her dad were talking at dinner, Cassie was not so subtly rubbing her feet up and down my legs, causing me to stutter numerous times. Her dad asked me if I was all right. I just said I had bad heartburn, LOL. Honestly, I feel like I'm a damn high schooler again. This is also so new, dangerous, and exciting, like it's almost forbidden in a way. As for Kenny, the little man doesn't suspect a thing, I think. We've been restoring a car together, and that's been keeping his mind occupied. Plus, he's too busy chasing his own crushes. Commenter, I need an update. I hope everything is going good. Ooh, hoop. Haha, well, I've posted a few mini ones in my history, but here's a small one. For Christmas, I'm going to surprise Cassie with a weekend ski trip. She's never been, and she told me years ago she wants to try it. As for Kenny, I'm going to take him to see Billie Eilish. He loves her, and I'm going to get as close to the stage as I possibly can. So there you go. Okay, in the break room at my work, and I'm grinning like an idiot, and I don't know what to do with my hands, so I'm typing this out to get rid of all this nervous energy. I work as a mechanic, and my boss called me over to the office. I thought I fucked up somehow, but he had a big-ass bouquet of roses on his desk. He told me, "This is for you." I was like, WTF, but I read the card attached, and it said, "Just because, love, GF." My boss laughed at me and told me I had a good one, and to not fuck it up, LOL. He did say he'd have to give me shit for it, but he's happy for me. Sure enough, the boys on the floor ripped me to shreds once they heard about it, but I didn't care. I was like floating LOL. Now I'm on my break, and I can't stop thinking about how much this completely caught me off guard. Can someone please talk me down from going out to buy her a ring after work, LOL? Edit. Hey everyone, I'm finally off work and I'm still really flustered, but I think I've calmed down, LOL. I don't think I'm gonna get her ring today, but I have to do something. Problem is, I don't know what. She deserves absolutely everything, but I can't think of anything that would equal this. I do have an idea of taking her on a last-minute romantic getaway this weekend. Also, to everyone asking, yes, the woman in my story is Cassie from my previous posts. Comments. Commenter. Aw, so sweet, not going to stop you, LOL. Commenter. If they already talked about marriage being a possibility, absolutely go for it. If not, maybe check with her first how she's feeling on the matter. The proposal itself can be a surprise, but marriage shouldn't be. Sorry to be the downer, I just don't want either of you to get hurt. You both sound so sweet and like an amazing couple. Commenter. She sounds pretty awesome, dude. Your boss is right. Don't fuck this up by ever taking her for granted. She's a keeper, and you have to commit to being a keeper back for her. That's what makes a loving relationship. Commenter. He's a keeper, she's a keeper, her son, Kenny keeper. Okay, next story. Bride said I'm ruining her shower, which I'm paying for and also planning like it's my second job. What the title says. I've been spending hours every day leading the planning on this shower, which myself and the other bridesmaids are paying for, even though it's 6 months away, because the bride is hounding us to get everything done ASAP, the kind of hounding that makes you just want to do something so the person shuts up. Today, the bride told another bridesmaid that me asking her for the guest list was asking her to do work for the shower, and she shouldn't have to do anything but show up and enjoy it. She does not speak to her future MIL, and she's currently in an argument with her own mother and doesn't want her involved. The guest list is the only thing we need from her, outside of when we asked her to confirm she was free for the date we picked. Top comments. Commenter. Bro, bail. Don't get stuck in the sunk cost fallacy on this one. Commenter. Why does anyone put up with entitled nonsense like this? I'd say, I think what you're telling me is that you don't want a bridal shower because that's what's going to happen without your getting off your lazy ass and giving me a guest list. So quit playing Princess of the Universe and get busy. Update. Everyone who said things would get worse was correct. I'm not proud of how things ended, but I'm relieved. Things came to a head because one of the other bridesmaids apparently decided to take on the role of informant and send screenshots of everything we said in the shower planning group text to the bride, including what our shower budget was. I did not give the bride a direct answer when she asked about it. I said it was a modest budget, but enough for it to be a nice day because, 1. It was definitely a financial inconvenience for a few bridesmaids, and I was hopeful we could come in under budget and possibly save everyone some money. 2. The bride was flip-flopping a lot on wanting a shower even when planning was underway, saying how much she wanted one, but that she didn't want to put anyone out or cost us money because she couldn't take feeling guilty. I had to talk her down from calling it off several times and was worried that she would object to us spending that much and say she wanted to cancel again. 3. The shower is a gift from the bridal party to the bride, and I don't think it's fair to ask how much a gift costs. When we first started planning, we had $1,700 for everything. Everyone put in what they could with zero expectations, and the amounts ranged from $50 to $500 anonymously. The bride wanted 40 guests, and to do an ice cream theme brunch with a sundae bar and play a lot of games. She was very clear about not wanting her mom involved. The shower was scheduled for August, so we needed it to be indoors/air-conditioned. But no one has a house big enough for 40, so we needed a venue rental. The bride had given a short list of places she'd thought of, such as Elks Clubs, VFWs, etc. I was on venue duty, in addition to helping the MOH with the general organization and mobilization of 8 bridesmaids in 4 states and 2 countries who didn't really know each other. And it was challenging. Even a lot of VFW-type places were $700 plus just for the space. I thought of doing a restaurant event room, but most places were coming in around $40 per head, and many of them said we could not bring in ice cream. Others were not handicap accessible, others more expensive on Saturdays, others had guest minimums. In the end, I talked to several dozen venues. Places don't respond immediately. There was follow-up and dead ends, so it was a lot of work on top of talking things through with the MOH and engaging with the regular bridal chat. I was getting a lot of pressure from the bride to get something booked, so I ended up booking one of the veterans halls she had mentioned that recently had a total renovation and looked really nice in photos. It was $100 per hour, so the MOH and I agreed to do a 4-hour rental, and I put the deposit on my credit card. The bride seemed happy when I told her the venue was booked and said thank you. After this, the bride's mom offered to pay for the venue, and the bride told me to let her do so, so her mom mailed me a check, and I thought we were over the hump on any drama around the shower. The MOH was working on the food estimate and coordinating directly with the bride. In this time, the informant texted us and asked if the budget we had was the budget for both the shower and bachelorette, and I said it wasn't initially, but we could poll the group about if they wanted to leave any leftovers in the pot for the bachelorette, and she said that sounded good. This was a couple of weeks ago. Since then, things have been a little stressful. The bride was unhappy that people weren't texting her back and sent some pretty aggro texts last weekend about how we're all causing her stress she doesn't need, and that we're rude and don't respect her. When pressed, a few people said that they couldn't keep up with all the texts. There are 10 of us. This group text for an October 2024 wedding started in June 2023, and I think people are burnt out already. And yesterday, the bride passive-aggressively put a reel in her IG stories about how bridesmaids need to help and wrote LOL over it. We are 35. Last night, the MOH had the finalized food plan. If we did grocery store catering platters, we could feed everyone apps, a main, a salad, 2 sides, and 2 desserts, one being sundae bar, with several different non-alcoholic drink options for $650. Having that information, I sent out a text to the other bridesmaids with an overall budget update and some general guidance on how to spend what we had left. $650 for food, $100 for invitations, $200 for favors, etc. At the end of that update, I said that even if we maxed out, we'd still have $200 left over, but we'd probably have more. Everyone give a thumbs up or raise concerns. Most people gave a quick thumbs up, but the informant said we were spending too much and that the bride was expecting us to have more than $200 left over. That last part definitely rubbed me the wrong way, but in the spirit of being agreeable, I said that to get a better sense of costs, everyone could do an estimate for what they thought they'd need for their respective tasks, and then report back in 2 weeks, which they said sounded good. Today I woke up after updating my phone OS last night to a bunch of text notifications with the name of the venue in them. My phone did that thing where you just see a number but no name. There were at least 6 of them. When I unlocked, they were all gone. I posted in the group chat without the bride asking if someone had texted about the venue, and the informant said she was pretty sure the venue didn't have AC, and apparently there had been a lot of heated convo around that. I had told everyone which venue I booked several weeks ago when I did it, so not sure why it was only coming up today. I was already planning on going to the venue today to take pics to help the person doing decorating and to put the rest of the money down, so I said I'd confirm AC 100% but was pretty sure I'd asked before booking. My blood pressure was way up already, starting my day with more shower drama, so I decided to call the venue before driving all the way there, a 40-minute drive, and confirm about the AC in case I had somehow messed that up. I hadn't. While I was on the phone with the venue, I got a text from an unfamiliar number which ended up being the bride's mom, saying the informant told them I was going to the venue and the bride was with them. They wanted to know what time I was going so they could meet me. At that point, I told the other bridesmaids that I had confirmed the venue had AC, but that because there were concerns, I wasn't going to put the rest of the money down until we were sure we wanted it, and that I would call the bride to discuss. When I called the bride, I could tell right away that she was pissed. I asked her what was going on, and she said she heard the venue had AC, so that was good. Word of that had miraculously traveled in less than 5 mins. She asked if I was going to the venue, and I said I wasn't going to drive all the way there to take pictures, pay if she no longer wanted the venue. She scolded me, saying there's a better way to do things. Other people live closer, and I don't need to be driving to the venue to take pictures. Then she told me she's been trying very hard to be patient with me, but that she shouldn't have to be unhappy about her own bridal shower. This was the first thing I heard about her not liking the venue. It had even been on her list. Her tone was very indignant and patronizing. I seriously felt like 2 cents. I asked why she was unhappy, and she said that the food the MOH had planned was not nice enough, that she heard we were spending $650 just on food, and because her mom had paid for the venue, we should be able to pay for food plus everything else needed for the shower, meaning invitations, favors, decorations, game prizes, plates and utensils, etc. With $650, so there would be more left over. I was so taken aback and overwhelmed I honestly started to cry a little, and told her that I've tried to plan to give her a nice day with the information I had at the time. That she didn't want to be involved in planning. She didn't want her mom involved. She wanted to do Sundays and games, and I was trying to work with what we had and what she wanted. When I tried to defend myself, she said, "Do not talk to me this way every time I talk to you," and started lambasting me. That's where I honestly don't remember too much else, because I finally snapped and said, "Okay, I'm done. I'm pulling out of this wedding." She kept yelling at me, so I yelled, "I'm done," again and hung up. She called me back immediately a few times, and I declined. I texted her reiterating that I was done, that I had just wanted to give her a nice day, but that I clearly do not have the capacity to show up like she needs a bridesmaid to show up, so it's in everyone's best interest for me to drop out. She texted me that I should have a conversation like an adult. I sent her the money her mom had sent me back on Venmo and told her I'd done so. She called me over and over in rapid succession, and I finally blocked her. So that was it. Not my finest moment, but I was definitely in fight or flight, and I don't owe it to anyone to get on the phone with them so they can berate and tone police me. I texted the MOH just to give her a heads up that I am out of the wedding, and she told me the bride had called her right after and said that she wants her shower at a restaurant now and that she was expecting to have a conversation about how we're spending money. Our money. I was ready to eat the non-refundable portion of the deposit, but the woman at the venue felt so bad for me that I'm getting it back. I was also supposed to be doing her wedding makeup, and she was pushing back on needing to buy her own foundation. So I wish whoever inherits that task luck. I will never be a bridesmaid again after this. I wish I had listened to my gut and everyone who told me to bow out gracefully weeks ago, because maybe things could have been salvaged, but now I don't see how we come back from this or know if I even want to. Update. She texted my husband saying that there is a big disconnect here, that I am clearly not okay in a deep way, and she hopes I can find my way to okay soon. It's truly impressive that someone can be *that* sanctimonious about me not wanting to be yelled at, taken for granted, and shit-talked. Relevant comments. Commenter, I'm glad you are finally out of that. Wonder how many more of the bridal party she will end up driving away. Hope you enjoy your summer with the amount of free time you will have not being part of this nightmare. Whoop. She kicked another person out a few months ago. Commenter. Why was she worried about how much money was left over? Was she expecting to get that money for something else? I am so confused. Commenter. She wanted the leftovers to go toward the bachelorette party, which will be a nightmare in and of itself. No one needs a $1,700 bridal shower unless they are paying everything themselves. These bridezillas are vampires, sucking the money, time, and emotional energy out of their bridesmaids' lives, because bridesmaid has now come to mean slave labor where slaves pay all the bills, too. Uop. We weren't even against her using the leftovers, but her setting her own secondary budget and then being mad that we were exceeding it is wild. We are also older, and many people in the bridal party have small kids, and we are too busy to do everything in the most economic way possible. We also just wanted it to be nice for her, so we were in favor of paying for a certain degree of convenience and some things of higher quality. Commenter, $1,700 for a bridal shower is absolutely insane. Oop. She didn't ask us to spend that much. It was how much we had after everyone chipped in. There were 9 bridesmaids altogether before I dropped out. And we were not planning on spending all of it. The MOH realistically thought food would be closer to $450, but we thought we should buffer to be safe in case something fell through or we forgot something, etc. The bride just wanted what we did spend to be done so in a way that she approved of. OOP on ending her friendship with the bride. OOP, it's honestly been pretty lousy seeing that such a longtime friend, 21 years, defaulted to finding fault with everything I did and talking about me with others, as if everything I was doing was not for her. This has been so much work. It was going to cost money. It didn't benefit me personally at all, except that I wanted my friend to have a really nice event that she didn't have to worry about that checked off the list of things she wanted. But I'm not even upset about that. I'm upset that she was so nasty to me and talked down to me like I was nothing more than an idiot who is ruining everything. And then on top of it, she attacked my mental health to my husband, which was just cruel and unnecessary. I can only imagine what she is saying about me to other people, but I don't care. Commenter. You took your money back from the budget, right? So it should be less than $1,700 budget now. Oop. The only money that I'd put down was the deposit, so I'm not out anything once I get the refund. How do you like these stories? Write your opinion in the comments. Let's get 1,000 subscribers on this channel. Love you.